Hey there, and welcome to another Curtis Stage video tutorial. Today's tutorial is in Photoshop. This is part 2 of our match day poster that we're doing for LAFC. This time we're going to do the layout and add text. It's going to look something like this when we're done. We've got the poster part on the left-hand side. The graphic part will happen next. All right, so let's get started. So we have our Photoshop image that we used for the last tutorial. What I want to do is I want to create a duplicate file of this. So I want to go to Image, Duplicate, and this will be Match Day 2, and we could call it Layout. This doesn't save it, this just gets it ready. So here it is. Now we've got everything that we had in the first one over here. It's not saved as a PSD yet, so let's go ahead and save that. So save as, and I don't need to change the name now, and I'm going to put it in my folder. And there we go. Now it's saved, so we can continue on. So now what I want to do is I want to collapse all of my layers down into one singular layer. And I'm going to suggest that this is why you make a duplicate copy, because if you want to change anything in here, change any of the color toning, right? We did this color toning in here. If you want to change any of that, you don't want to collapse all these things down until you're done. In fact, prior to this step, if you were going to do the text a little bit differently, like put it behind Carlos Vela, like I said in the last tutorial, you would probably not want to collapse everything down and merge everything into one layer until you're completely satisfied with what you've got. So let's merge this all down. I'm going to go to Layer and Flatten Image. This time it's going to flatten everything into one image. And now we're going to expand the canvas. We're going to go to Image, Canvas Size, and we're going to expand it to the right-hand side, and I'm going to double this width to 3000. So it was 1500, double it to 3000. I could pick a canvas color, right? So if I click a foreground or background or click Other, well, I want to put that LAFC color that we were using. This is their official California Gold color, and it'll match then our design. So I want to click OK to that and click OK. And now I've got that color that's extended on in my canvas. You can see over here in the layer, it's extended. Now what I want to do is I want to start adding my text and any other graphic materials that I want. This is completely up to you. It doesn't have to be a match day poster. It could just say things like black and gold or whatever. So just to make it a little bit different, again, what I had was some details that would maybe occur in a match day, which would be something like this. Right? So we could do something a little bit different than that. And if you want to do that, you can. But let me create something that looks a little different this time. Instead of a match day poster, maybe I do a black and gold or shoulder to shoulder. So it's something a little different. So I'm going to go to my type tool. I'm going to pick Overgrow. That is a font that I downloaded off dafont.com, DAFONT.com. And I'm going to pick black as my foreground color. If I wanted to use a different color, of course, I would go into the branding and look and see what my other hexadecimal colors are. So I could use this asphalt or wolf gray, which, so those hex colors are in there. I could also use glory red if I want to. So I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to just stick with black for this. And one of the sayings in LAFC world is shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to put the word shoulder there. I'm going to size this down. It was a little big. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to size it so that it fits kind of in here. And kind of like that. And then maybe I'll make a copy. No, maybe I'll do shoulder and then 2. So shoulder and 2. And maybe make the 2 a little bit smaller. So I'll highlight just the word 2 and make that a little smaller. If I put it right next to it, that could look kind of cool. So shoulder 2, and then I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to hover my mouse over it and then kind of bring this down over here and line it up so it does that. So shoulder to shoulder, and I could take out the 2 on that one, so the second one, and then I can make another copy of this. I get my move tool, click this, and then drag it down. So just kind of repeating shoulder to shoulder. Could line it up. I got my smart guides on, so view, and then show, and I've got smart guides. Right? I could turn a grid on as well if I wanted to, but I'm pretty good with this. I want to make sure my sizing is about right in between those. So anyway, so I'm going to go, I need one of these now, so I'm going to take this, bring this down. Now what I can do is I've got my sequence here, and I could just highlight all 4 of these and then hold down Option and click and drag, and I could just keep doing shoulder to shoulder, kind of do something like this. Maybe I'll take all of those and move them, so I'll hold shift down on my layers, take them all and move them down so they're kind of like this. Or I could kind of get designy and say I want the top of the vela to kind of be at the same height as this right here. So you could do something like that. You could do shoulder to shoulder. You could do black and gold. Let's see what that looks like. So I like the shoulder to shoulder. I'm going to turn the eyeballs off on those, and I'm going to do a black and gold one now. So black and gold, I'm going to put all in one and use an ampersand, and it looks kind of funky in this font. So let me highlight all that, get it a little smaller so it fits in here. Check mark that. Get my move tool, move it in. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if I like that ampersand, so I may highlight this, oops, and put in a ampersand from another, highlight that. I got too many spaces now. Weird. I'm gonna highlight this, put in a different ampersand. I just don't like the way that one looks. So let me go with a normal one, like from, let's see. That's kind of cool. You have to kind of, you just have to decide, right? Ooh, that's kind of nice. So that's the American typewriter. Interesting. Just giving it something a little different there. And then I kind of like this black and gold thing happening here. So then I can take that, I can highlight both of those, black and golds. Once I've got 2, then I've got 4. Then I highlight all 4 of these, hold down Shift, select all, and could move them around and see what they look like. So maybe it's something like this. It starts down here. Maybe it just fills in the same as where the vela is. So let's see, I'm gonna turn these off. You're kind of making some design choices here. So if I want to pull I want to kind of get it so that the top of this is the top of that, so it fits inside that. And this is where I could turn on my guide, so I could go view. I have my rulers on, if you don't have them on already. Then I could pull a guide down and measure the top from there and the bottom of the A and vela. I'm looking over right there, close enough. And then I can kind of get these sized, oops, get those kind of moved in there. Look at that distance there on the edge, something like that. And I could put this one right above there. That looks good like that. Then I can clear those rulers out or those guides out by pulling them, top and bottom. So something like that looks pretty good. So I could have vela and then the black and gold, and then I could do something down here. I could have a separate thing that happens down there. That could be a game day deal. So, it could be a match that's happening. That's completely up to you. You can decide what kind of text you want over here. I'm going to leave this part open to you. You could have it just say black and gold repeating throughout the whole thing. So you could have that happen. So play around with this. I'm going to do something. Let's see. I'm going to repeat these like I was doing before. I want to take this, move those. Actually, I'm going to delete those and repeat these two because they are evenly evenly spaced. Hold down my Option, do that. With my smart guides on, they're giving me that exact width of 65 pixels in between, so that's pretty good. Let me take these Option, I'm just Option clicking and dragging. I'm looking for that smart guide to hold it in for me there. So something like that looks pretty cool. Now I'd probably put this all into one folder here. So I'd highlight all those, put them into a folder. Maybe I'd highlight all the shoulder to shoulder, put them into a folder as well, and right, turn that group off. And the eyeballs are already off, right? So I don't need that. Could be interesting to have it kind of doing that. But anyway, so now I've got that going on, and I could take the texture that I had over here on this side, and I could have that happen over here too. So let's open up that texture. I'm gonna go over here. Let's see where that asset is. So I've got my scratches. I'm gonna take that, open it up in Photoshop, drag it down to my Photoshop icon. Then I'm gonna move this with my Move tool up into Match Day, put it right over here, put it above this group, move it over, something like that. Of course, then I'm gonna make it come through, and you could do this. You could kind of knock out all the darks, or you can go 50% and do this. So you can go soft light. Now, I do something like this, it is altering the color quite a bit, so you want to be careful on that. You could do subtract is kind of cool, and then you could take the opacity down on it. So some of those things, I mean, way down. You don't need to see a lot of those scratches. So I'm going to say maybe 8%, maybe 10, 12%, something like that. That looks pretty cool. So you can do something like that. So I want you to have fun with this right-hand side and kind of make this poster your own now. So it could either be a match day poster, like I said, where it would have like information about a match. You can go online and find information, or you can look at the match day poster example that I have. I'll have that in our folder, and you could do something like this where you change the sizes and have some different information in there. So it's completely up to you how you want to do it. I kind of like that. You could add a couple, let me show you how to add a couple lines on here. If you look back at this match day poster, I added a singular line right there to separate. I'd maybe want to put a line above and below this. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go over to these three dots right here. And in the three dots, you should have a custom shape tool. It could also be in your toolbar. It looks like this little weird thing. It says custom shape tool, but there's a line tool right above it, right there. So you want that one. Then you go over here and you want to pick one of your colors it doesn't need that necessarily, but here's the width of it. And when I draw a line, I hold shift down and draw a line. And then you can increase the width of that right here up on the options bar. So I'm going to go about 14 or 15. That's pretty nice. So you could have a line that goes like that. A little close. These guys are a little close. Let me move that group. I have that line inside the group. I'm going to actually take it out of the group, put it above it, and now I can move the whole group over. See this? I'm clicked on group number 1 and auto select with my move tools on layer, but I'm going to turn to group. And now look at this. I can move lock this layer, lock the shape that I just did. So I want to lock that layer, and I want that group, close down that. I want to move this group. See, I can move it all together, and I can line it up better. So if I want a line in here on the side like that, and let me unlock that shape, I could do it there. If I show the transform tools on that layer, then I can rotate this. So I'm going to go back to, see this? So if I click on this shape, if I click on shape 1 and I go to show transform and auto go back to layer instead of group, then I can hover my mouse on this and rotate that. If I hold shift, I'll get right to that 90 degrees. I can also punch in 90 degrees up top. And then I can also make this thing smaller by grabbing the edge and then hit the check mark and move this thing up into place. So I could say I want one there, maybe a little longer. Maybe I want it to be the exact width of these guys, right? And then I want, that's good. Put it up just a little higher. 65 would be, you know, there we go, that's 65. And a little closer here, something like that. And then I can take Option and drag and make another one down here so that it's the same distance from there to there. That's how those smart guides help you out. So something like that. I could do a poster that has this happening in here, and if I wanted to do a little, you know, more information down at the bottom, I could do that. All right, so that has been another Curtis Stage tutorial. We will see you next time.